My truck broke down again on a day when it's negative 20 Canadian degrees. We know it's something small, we can't figure out what it is. It's electrical, we know that. Okay guys, quick update from the truck. We just got it back from the shop. So maybe some of you mechanics have an idea what's going wrong. We did just put a new starter on, and since that we've been having some issues. So what happens is, turn the key, doesn't want to go, so you just keep trying. Eventually it burns out the dash fuse, a fuse in the cab that, like, your whole gauge cluster lights up and stuff. That fuse burns out, which is in the cab, and then a fuse that sends the signal to your starter under the hood here goes out. So we're back at my truck diagnosing it. Worked fine for a day, got stuck, figured out it blew some fuses. It worked again for a while, and now I have two good fuses, the ones that burnt out, and the starter won't, like, you hear the starter click. So we think, number one, maybe faulty starter in itself, or it got burnt out somehow from something we did wrong. So in that case, it burnt out too, or it was just getting bound up. So we're just gonna connect the batteries quick and see if that starter still activates.
Whoa! No!
What happened?
Sparks!
So we just watched the footage. It sounded funny from in the cab, but that probably wasn't very good. We don't know if just the movement of it somehow grounded something, or the actual casing of a starter grounds itself. I have no idea. We just won't do that. Yeah, now it goes. So the starter was working good for a few days till it started blowing fuses. I believe I explained that already. Now, we took the starter out, bench tested it. The starter still works fine, but when we were in the truck and the fuses were good, we turned the key, it just clicks. So the starter was either getting stuck, and we figured the starter's sitting too far in, or it doesn't have enough room to push it. Either it's pushing against some teeth, or it was actually shooting itself too far. So I did talk to a guy on Facebook a little while back. He had a similar problem, a little more drastic than what we had, but he shimmed his out 1/8 of an inch, and it works totally fine now. So we found 3 washers that are 1/8 inch thick. I put them on all 3 starting bolts between the starter and the engine, obviously, so the starter's sitting 1/8 of an inch back. If this works, we're not gonna just run the washers. I think we could, but there's a little bit of slack between the bolts and that, and we're gonna spend whatever, an hour or two, if this works, to make an actual, like, another adapter, like a whole space that sits against the whole starter. It's a little safer. But yeah, hopefully it can't break this way while we test it. So we're gonna quick connect the batteries, and hopefully this works. We'll try it a couple times, make sure it's permanently good, and then I have my feelings it's okay, and then next shot we'll be making a thing. So shimming the starter out 1/8 helped. Still not perfect, so what we did, hopefully it's not too far now, we put another 1/8, so it's shimmed out 1/4 inch now. We did measure how much of the teeth are grabbing. So it'll still be grabbing, I believe, on more than half of the thing. So if this helps now, then we know we have to shim it out 1/4 or 1/8, or between the two somewhere. Now, if you're planning on doing a Fummins swap, don't do whatever these people did. Take your time, pay for the good parts, and don't cheap out, because From what I can tell, the first owner sold it because of problems like this, and it's because the guy didn't know what the heck he was doing. They did a nice fitment, but they chinched out in areas you shouldn't. So, after UPS delayed it for over a week in the next town across from me somewhere because of weather,
it's raining sideways!
we finally got the part from DCS. So this is actually the starter spacer that goes into the adapter plate. So, like we said recently, or in the same video probably, but this is actually in real life like 2.5, 3 weeks later. We figured out 1/4 inch is what we need. It seems to work really good. So this is 1/2 inch. That's the size they make them in. So we're gonna see if we can pop these dowels out, because that's probably gonna be problematic for whoever's milling it. Plus we don't need them. So we're gonna pop those, try to pop one dowel out. We're gonna start, this one's really kind of close. So we're gonna test with this one first, see how easy they come out. If it takes a lot of force, I'm gonna maybe get this one removed by someone who knows what they're doing. Not us. But this one, there's lots of meat around it, so I'm just gonna use a bolt that's slightly smaller. See if it'll even start to move. If it's no problem, we'll do the other one also. And then tomorrow it's gonna get brought away. It's gonna get milled, hopefully. And then then we can put the starter back on. And then I got a few other parts to install also. Don't know if that's this video though. Our Harbor Freight press is what we are going to be using. So let's move over there. So that worked really swell. As you can see, maybe 2 dowels. 2 dowels are in my hand. As you can see, there's 2 extra holes in this thing. So hopefully the next shot, this is 1/2 the thickness, because tomorrow someone is going to bring it away, but not for me because I am in truck driving school. I'm getting my CDL for you Americanos. We're back! As you can see, if you remember from the last shot, this is 1/2 of the thickness that it was. It's a lot lighter. I just matched it up with we actually still have the washers on there. And this is actually exactly the same. So we got a bit, what was that? So basically we got to unplug the batteries again, because I think they're still on. We have to undo the wires. We basically have to take the starter off because it's installed for like the 20th time. Install this, cross our fingers, and it should be good.
Is it right?
It is. Should be.
Yeah, did you try clicking on
The thickness should be. No, we just got out here. So this is the starter, obviously. Just got it off. Spacer is a spacer. So now it's basically just putting the starter back together for the 30th time. Actually, probably more like 6th time. We got that spacer on, all the wiring's on, 3 bolts, torqued them to what I think is good torque. I'm always scared to tighten aluminum too tight because I'm scared the threading. Aluminum is softer metal basically. Well, it depends what kind of, it's more fragile. So hopefully this is the last time we gotta put these terminals on. But we're gonna do it just as a test for now. I wanna try to start this truck at least 5 or 6 times before we put that wheel well and the wheel back on. Yeah, and then if that's all good, that'll be the end of this video. This video only took about 3 to 4 weeks. So when you guys cry like little babies, oh, where's the Cummins? Oh, where's the Duramax? Where's this? Well, the Duramax is gone, sort of say. But it's because when we're in Canada, and because Canada has such a small population, everything we order comes from the States, and then it gets weather delayed because Canada weather. And yeah, instead of waiting 1 week, we wait 2 weeks. And also things like regular things sometimes just take 2 weeks anyways, plus delays. And stuff gets lost in transit. So you tell Amazon we did not